What if everything you have been told about memory loss is wrong? What if forgetting names, losing your train of thought, walking into a room and not knowing why you went there? What if none of that is inevitable? What if your brain, no matter your age, has an extraordinary, scientifically proven ability to repair itself, rebuild itself, and grow sharper? Not in years, not in months, but literally overnight. And the only thing standing between you and that transformation is what you put on your plate in the evening? What if five specific foods eaten before you go to sleep tonight could trigger a cascade of biological events inside your brain so powerful that you wake up tomorrow with clearer thinking, stronger recall, and sharper focus than you have felt in years? What if the solution to one of the most feared conditions in the world, cognitive decline, memory loss, the slow fading of the mind, was not a prescription, not an expensive treatment, not something out of reach, but something sitting quietly in your kitchen right now, waiting for you to discover it? Stay with me, because what you are about to learn in the next few minutes is going to change the way you think about your brain, your health, and your future forever. What if I told you that the most powerful time for your brain is not when you are awake, but when you are asleep? Most people think sleep is just rest, but science has now confirmed something shocking. During deep sleep, your brain activates a biological cleaning system called the glymphatic system, which flushes out toxic waste proteins, including beta amyloid A, the very same protein linked directly to Alzheimer's disease. But here's the terrifying part. This cleaning system only works efficiently when your brain has the right nutritional fuel before bed. Without that fuel, the waste builds up night after night, year after year, slowly suffocating your neurons. Scientists have discovered that what you eat in those final 2 hours before sleep either supercharges this brain detox process or completely shuts it down. Seniors who eat the wrong foods at night are unknowingly blocking their brain's only chance to self repair. But seniors who eat the right foods, they are literally rebuilding their memory while they sleep, waking up sharper, clearer, and more mentally alive. This one fact alone changes everything you thought you knew about memory loss. What if a tiny dark berry, smaller than your fingernail, could switch on the genes responsible for memory formation inside your brain? Blueberries contain a class of powerful plant chemicals called anthocyanins, deep blue pigments that cross the blood-brain barrier, something most compounds can never do. Once inside the brain, these anthocyanins directly stimulate a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which scientists now call miracle grow for the brain. BDNF literally grows new brain cells and strengthens the connections between existing neurons. Studies from leading neuroscience institutions have shown that seniors who consume blueberries regularly demonstrate measurably better memory recall, faster cognitive processing, and significantly lower rates of age-related mental decline. The magic becomes even more powerful at night because during sleep, BDNF works at its highest capacity, building and rewiring neural pathways. A small handful of blueberries eaten in the evening gives your sleeping brain a construction crew working all night long. This is not a myth. This is molecular biology, and it is happening inside you every single night, whether you are feeding it or starving it. What if nature left you a visual clue, a food that literally looks like the organ it heals? Walnuts are the only nut with a significant concentration of DHA, a type of omega-3 fatty acid that makes up over 30% of your brain's structural fat. As seniors age, DHA levels in the brain decline, and research has directly linked low DHA to memory fog, slower recall, and increased risk of dementia. But here is what makes walnuts truly extraordinary as a nighttime food. They also contain melatonin, the natural sleep hormone, along with polyphenols that reduce neuroinflammation during the night. Neuroinflammation is now considered one of the primary drivers of memory destruction in aging brains. When you eat walnuts before bed, you are simultaneously delivering the structural building blocks your brain needs to repair damaged neurons, reducing the inflammation that kills brain cells, and improving sleep quality so your brain's glymphatic cleaning system can work at full power. Just 6 to 8 walnuts eaten nightly can create measurable improvement in memory function within weeks. Your brain is literally made of what you eat, and walnuts speak your brain's native language. What if the single most important brain building nutrient on Earth is the one most seniors are dangerously low in TRAS and nobody is talking about it? EPA and DHA. The long chain omega 3 fatty acids found almost exclusively in fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel are so critical to brain function that without them, neurons cannot communicate properly. The synaptic membranes and the tiny bridges between brain cells where memories are actually transferred are made primarily of these fatty acids. When those membranes become stiff and brittle due to deficiency, memory transmission slows, then breaks down entirely. Studies have shown that seniors with the highest blood levels of DHA have brains that appear up to 3 years younger on brain scans than their actual age. 3 years younger. Eating fatty fish in the evening is particularly powerful because during sleep, the brain enters its highest period of membrane repair and synapse rebuilding. You are essentially giving your brain premium construction material right before its most active repair shift of the day. The difference between a brain that sharpens with age and one that deteriorates may come down to this single food group eaten consistently at night. What if your brain is trying to form memories every single day, but it keeps failing because it is missing one critical mineral? Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest natural sources of zinc on the planet, and zinc is the mineral that acts as the gatekeeper for memory consolidation. Every time you learn something, experience something, or try to remember something, zinc is the mineral that determines whether that memory gets locked into long term storage or simply disappears. Research has established that zinc deficiency causes direct disruption in the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for forming and retrieving memories. In seniors, zinc absorption decreases with age, making deficiency extremely common and extremely dangerous. But there is more. Pumpkin seeds also contain magnesium, which calms neural activity and promotes deep restorative sleep, and tryptophan, which converts to serotonin and then melatonin overnight. This means pumpkin seeds address three separate memory destroying problems simultaneously: zinc deficiency, poor sleep quality, and hippocampal dysfunction, all in one tiny seed. A small handful eaten before bed is like sending a precision repair team directly to the memory center of your brain every single night. What if the most delicious food on this list is also the one that most powerfully protects your brain's blood supply, the lifeline that keeps your memory alive? Pure dark chocolate with 70% or higher cocoa content contains an extraordinary class of compounds called flavanols, and these flavanols have been proven in clinical trials to increase cerebral blood flow by up to 30%. Blood flow to the brain is not just about circulation, it is literally the delivery system for oxygen, glucose, and nutrients that every single neuron depends on to survive and function. When blood flow decreases, as it naturally does with aging, neurons begin to starve and die, taking memories with them. Dark chocolate's flavanols also stimulate nitric oxide production, which relaxes and widens blood vessels, allowing dramatically more blood to reach the brain's memory centers, including the dentate gyrus, a region critical for distinguishing between similar memories. Studies have directly linked dark chocolate consumption to improved performance on memory tests in older adults. Eaten in the evening, these flavanols work through the night, dilating vessels, flooding neurons with fuel, and protecting the microscopic architecture of your memory while you sleep. 2 to 3 squares of real dark chocolate before bed is not an indulgence. It is medicine. Your brain never truly sleeps. While your body rests, your brain enters its most critical period of activity, a nightly repair cycle so sophisticated, so precise, so biologically extraordinary that scientists are only now beginning to fully understand it. And what happens during those nighttime hours determines everything: how sharp you feel tomorrow morning, how well you remember faces and names and conversations, how clearly you think, how quickly you process information, and ultimately, how protected your brain remains against the gradual cognitive decline that so many seniors fear and so few know how to prevent. What if the most important health decision you make every single day is not your morning routine, not your exercise, not even your supplements, but what you eat in those quiet hours before bed? The brain's nighttime repair system, called the glymphatic system, operates like a biological pressure washer. It floods the brain with cerebrospinal fluid, physically pushing out toxic waste proteins that accumulate during waking hours, including beta amyloid, the protein directly linked to Alzheimer's disease. But this system does not operate at full power automatically. It needs fuel. It needs specific nutrients. It needs the right foods. And without them, the toxic waste stays behind, accumulating night after night, slowly choking the very neurons that hold your memories, your personality, your identity. The science on this is no longer debatable. What you eat at night either activates your brain's repair mechanisms or shuts them down. And for seniors, whose brains are already working harder to maintain the same level of function, the difference between feeding your brain correctly and starving it of what it needs could be the difference between sharpening your memory and slowly losing it. So tonight, let us talk about 5 specific foods, backed by decades of research, supported by molecular biology, proven in clinical settings, that seniors can eat before bed to trigger this repair process, protect their neurons, build new brain connections, and wake up sharper than they have felt in years. The first food is the humble blueberry, small, dark, almost deceptively ordinary, and yet inside each one of these tiny berries is a class of compounds called anthocyanins, so powerful that they cross the blood-brain barrier, something most substances in the world simply cannot do. Once inside your brain, these anthocyanins trigger the production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein so remarkable that neuroscientists have nicknamed it miracle grow for the brain. BDNF does not just protect existing brain cells, it grows new ones. It strengthens the connections between neurons. It rebuilds the architecture of memory while you sleep. A small handful of blueberries eaten in the evening is not a snack. It is a signal, a biological instruction sent directly to your brain to grow, repair, and strengthen through the night. Study after study has confirmed that seniors with higher anthocyanin intake demonstrate measurably better cognitive performance, stronger recall, and significantly slower rates of age-related mental decline. What if this one change, a handful of blueberries before bed, is the simplest, most powerful thing you have never tried? The second food has been hiding in plain sight, shaped like the very organ it is designed to protect. Walnuts look like a brain, and that is not a coincidence of nature. They are the only nut with a meaningful concentration of DHA, the omega-3 fatty acid that forms the structural backbone of your brain's cell membranes. As seniors age, DHA levels in the brain naturally decline, and when they do, neurons begin to lose their flexibility, their ability to communicate, their capacity to form and hold memories. But walnuts also contain something that makes them uniquely powerful as a nighttime food. They are one of the rare natural sources of melatonin, the sleep hormone, and they carry anti-inflammatory polyphenols that reduce neuroinflammation during sleep. Neuroinflammation, chronic low-level inflammation inside the brain, is now considered one of the primary biological drivers of memory destruction in aging individuals. When you eat walnuts before bed, you are delivering 3 simultaneous gifts to your sleeping brain: structural repair material, inflammation reduction, and deeper sleep quality. 6 to 8 walnuts. That is all it takes. Eaten nightly, the research shows measurable improvements in memory function within weeks. Your brain is built from what you eat, and walnuts speak its native language. The third food addresses a deficiency so widespread, so damaging, and so overlooked that it may be silently responsible for memory problems in seniors all across the world. Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel contain EPA and DHA at concentrations found almost nowhere else in the natural world. The synaptic membranes of your brain, the microscopic bridges across which every memory is transferred from one neuron to another, are made primarily of these fatty acids. When seniors are deficient in omega-3s, which research confirms is extremely common, these membranes become stiff and brittle. Memory transmission slows, then it becomes unreliable, then it breaks down. But the reverse is also true. Seniors with the highest blood levels of DHA have brains that appear 3 years younger on neurological scans than their actual chronological age. 3 years younger, not because of genetics, not because of luck, because of food. Eaten in the evening, The omega 3s in fatty fish go to work during the brain's peak repair hours, rebuilding membranes, reinforcing synapses, restoring the biological infrastructure of memory. What if memory loss is not a sentence? What if it is a symptom of something as correctable as what you had for dinner? The fourth food is one you may never have considered for brain health, and yet it contains a mineral so essential to memory formation that without it, your brain literally cannot lock new memories into long term storage. Pumpkin seeds are among the richest natural sources of zinc on Earth, and zinc is the gatekeeper of memory consolidation. Every experience you have, every name you try to remember, every face you want to recognize, zinc is the mineral that determines whether that information gets stored permanently or simply vanishes. Research on the hippocampus, the brain region responsible for forming and retrieving memories, has directly linked zinc deficiency to disrupted memory function. And in seniors, zinc absorption decreases with age, making deficiency both common and catastrophic. But pumpkin seeds do not stop there. They also contain magnesium, which calms an overactive nervous system and promotes deep restorative sleep, and tryptophan, which converts overnight to serotonin and then melatonin. Three problems: zinc deficiency, poor sleep, hippocampal dysfunction, addressed by one tiny seed. A small handful before bed sends a precision repair team directly to the memory center of your brain every single night. The fifth food may be the most surprising, and for many people, the most welcome discovery of this entire conversation: dark chocolate. Real dark chocolate with 70% or higher cocoa content contains a class of compounds called flavonols that have been proven in peer reviewed clinical trials to increase blood flow to the brain by up to 30%. Cerebral blood flow is the lifeline of memory. Every neuron in your brain depends on a constant, rich supply of oxygen and glucose delivered through the blood. When that flow decreases, as it does naturally with aging, neurons begin to starve. They become sluggish. They lose their connections. Memories fade. But dark chocolate's flavonols stimulate nitric oxide production, which relaxes and widens blood vessels, flooding the brain's memory centers, including the dentate gyrus, a region critical for distinguishing between similar memories with the fuel they need to survive and thrive. Studies have directly shown improved memory test performance in older adults who consume dark chocolate regularly. 2 to 3 squares eaten in the evening give your brain a surge of protective blood flow that works through the night, repairing, nourishing, and defending the neurons that hold your most precious memories. This is not an indulgence, this is intervention. What if the most powerful tool against cognitive decline has been available to you all along, in your grocery store, in your kitchen, in the foods you choose to eat before sleep? What if every night is either an opportunity to rebuild your brain or an opportunity missed? What if the gap between a mind that sharpens with age and one that quietly fades is not determined by fate, but by five foods: blueberries, walnuts, fatty fish, pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate, five foods, one night, a lifetime of difference? Memory is not just information, it is identity. It is the thread that connects you to everyone you love, every experience that shaped you, every version of yourself you have ever been. Protecting it is not vanity. It is not fear. It is one of the most profound acts of self respect you can offer yourself in your senior years. The science is clear, the evidence is overwhelming, and the solution is within reach. Your brain wants to heal. It is designed to repair itself. It is biologically programmed to grow stronger at any age if you give it what it needs. Start tonight. Small changes, eaten consistently, create enormous biological transformations over time. You are not too old. It is not too late. The best version of your brain may still be ahead of you, and it may begin with what you eat before you close your eyes tonight.